Hi FlashTube, it's Diane. I am going to do my video on my color conversion for Queen Anne's lace. Now this piece I stitched in 2016, this one I finished in 2017. This is as originally charted. It is stitched on 32 count Jobelin, Georgia Peach, fabrics by LJ. This is my color conversion. It is stitched on 32 count Jobelin, Ice Princess by Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm doing this because I know some people don't have access to Facebook. I do have my chart available as a PDF in certain groups on Facebook, and I will link those below. If you're not in those groups or do not have access to Facebook, feel free to take whatever notes you want, and I will focus on my chart that I made. But I want to talk about the two pieces. Some differences. The boots. On this original, there's a line of beads here and a line of beads here. That is how it's charted. On my physical chart, I literally took just a pencil and I had a working copy and just drew a line, and everything from that line to the toe is boot. And everything from that line up is the symbol that's charted there. Note, I did not include these little pom-pom thingies at all on the boots. I had thought of doing something like that, but it just didn't look right. Sorry. I'm going to go in a little closer. Oh, one thing I do want to mention here. Her legs are not flesh tone. They are charted to be kind of this pinky tight color. It's a Krennic color. You can see a little shimmer there from the Krennic. So that's why this is here, but I'll talk exactly what color that is in a minute. So let me go in here. There we go. So these are stitched in Whisper W88 by Rainbow Gallery. So I stitched the stitches and then I fluffed it because you can see it's a little fluffy. I have a special nap brush to fluff Whisper thread. Sorry, I'm trying not to move the camera. But you could also use an unused toothbrush to do that, but it does take time. So just gently pull the strands, and you're going to want to go right to left for a little while, and then left to right for a little while, top to bottom, bottom to top. You're going to want to go all around to get however much fluff you want. After the boots are fluffed, then I added the back stitching. It's all one strand of back stitch, except the soles of her feet where it just touches the ground. I actually I did the one strand and then I went back again just to give a little thicker right there where she touches the ground, I guess, for lack of a better term. Now here are like ski pants or snow pants, wind pants, whatever you'd like to say. The original again has Krennics there. So other changes I made. I'm going to go up to her sweater. This is all as charted shape-wise. All I did is I literally just drew a line with my pencil where her wrist would naturally look to appear. And so everything from her wrist to her fingertips is as charted, flesh tone. From her wrist to her elbow and beyond, sweater. Same with this one. So here, there are multiple colors, but I just used all Whisper. I'm going to scooch over here. So like here is a darker flesh tone, here's a lighter flesh tone. Well, that on my conversion is just all sweater. And in here, you see some of these flesh tone pieces, different shades. That's just all sweater on my conversion. Also look at her bodice. Her bodice has different colors of green down here, different shades of green. And notice her chin. She does have a chin line. Going back to my conversion. In her bodice, it's all the same metallic. which is Petite Treasure Braid PB70. And so there are silver beads also there. And then here, I just kind of followed her chin line till it looked right. I did have to draw the line a couple of times. So it depends on what kind of collar that you want. I stitched all the whisper, fluffed it till I got it to where I wanted, then I backstitched. I did go over the cuffs twice with a single strand just to give it a little thicker cuff, and then I added the beads. That way my nap brush wouldn't catch any of my other stitches, if that makes any sense. Okay. Going close here. So you have silver Petite Treasure Braid beads, silver Petite Treasure Braid beads, silver Petite Treasure Braid beads, and then all through here, all the green that is charted, I made silver. There is white charted, although I did use B5200, and I just left that as I followed the original chart. And then there's a water lily that's called from the original chart. I did have that here, and it's also at the bottom. I move this again, and kind of at the edge of her skirt here. That is water lily, Karen Collection water lily. .303. Yes, 303. It's called Ticking, like pillow ticking. The original is lemon lime, but the one I used is ticking. So it's just a wee bit of a difference in shade and tone, but otherwise I followed. Now I'm finding all my beads that are all wonky. That's gonna drive me nuts. That's okay. When I fully finish this, I'll go back and straighten all the beads. And I do know how I want to fully finish this. You will also notice the beads. I think these are number 8 beads, number 11 seed beads, and there are also size 15 beads in here too. They're the 40,000 Mill Hill beads. Those are all ice. So they're all the same color. They're just different sizes of the same color. Okay, I'm trying not to pick the beads. I'm sorry. So let's go up to one other change that I made. Her hair. Her hair, instead of being multiple colors of brown, like the original, that is also a water lily. It is Karen Collection Water Lily 264. It's called Oyster. And also up here in the crown, there's a lot of that silver metallic like her bodice. Again, I just use that silver metallic for those symbols. I'm going to come over here so you can see the difference. Come on, focus. There we go. So you've got all those greens in there. That's silver now on my conversion. And all the brown, I just used the oyster. I also changed her lip color on my conversion. I tried some different shades until I found what I liked. Now on the original wing, you have a Krennic, a water lily, and then some DMC down here. I went back and forth several times, and this is what I did. Let me show the same wing, I suppose. Makes sense. Krennic, right? Yes, that's a Krennic number 4 braid. This is a Petite Treasure braid. Her entire wing is metallic. So I didn't use any water lily in her wing. The project still has 2 water lilies. One is the ticking that was used in kind of the edge of her bodice, the edge of her skirt, and then the hair color of oyster. Skin tones in her face were all as charted, and that is a different color for her lip. The original was 3806, and I used 3, 2, 1. So, other than that, I'm going to zoom out here, give it a minute to focus. Other than that, it's pretty much a color to color conversion. Okay, so we're going to focus on my chart. When I say my chart, I'm not talking the pattern, I am talking the chart I made in MS Word that you can I made it a PDF in the groups below that I will link, and then you can print it off. But if you are unable to do that because you don't have access to Facebook or whatever reason, I'm going to focus on my chart now. So I'm trying to grab my phone so I don't drop it while I point with my other hand. So this is as close to the symbol on the chart as I could get on my computer. Like here, 4 dots, I couldn't find that symbol on my computer, but if you know the original color on the original chart, that's what this is, then you could know what I did. So we have the mu symbol, DMC 165. I use Petite Treasure Braid 70. The dollar sign, DMC 166, Petite Treasure Braid 70. The hollow star, DMC 704, I use DMC 719, that is a blue. The capital M, now this is only used on the original design in her shoes. That's the original color. I didn't use it at all. So that's one symbol you don't have to worry about. Pound sign, DMC 731, Petite Treasure Braid 70. It's kind of a cursive U, or it's a lambda, I think, in Greek. 754, 754. So that is the flesh tone, and I used it face and hands. This is the flesh tone for the entire piece, but I used it only in face and hands. Same thing with 758, face and hands just as charted. The dash is 772. I used 162. Kind of a large starburst is 780. This is her hair. That's where I used the water lily oyster. This is a Z with a dash through it. Because the pound is up there. So yeah, 781. Again, I used the Karen collection. Heart, the Karen collection. So that's all her hair colors. I just used the water lily, and I did finish each stitch as I went just to give it a wee bit of variegation. It's not like going from green to red or anything like that, but it's very subtle. The filled in square 890, I used 823. Number 3, 905 original, I used 820. The 4 dots, it literally looks like 4 little dots. DMC 906, I used DMC 824. The little squiggle, 948, that's flesh tone, so that was also used in the face and hands. Half circle, 3805. Petite Treasure Braid 41, that's the blue. That is, so you have the Petite Treasure Braid silver and this blue here, that's what that one is. And that was the best metallic I have ever stitched with. Doesn't matter what brand. That was wonderful fiber to stitch with. The @ symbol everywhere except the lips, because you don't want her to have blue. Well, maybe you want yours to have blue lips. I tried it. I didn't like the look. I wanted the stark red lips to jump out. Original is 3806, Petite Treasure Braid PB41. The small dot, white, I used B5200. The large X, they blend these two together, 772 and 704 in the original. I blended 162 and 519 in my conversion. The @ symbol, just the lips, is 321. And again, this isn't different in the original, that's why it's dash there. That's something I added. Back stitching. Okay. 632, that's just the face and hands. Where in the original, it's all flesh. My conversion is just the face and hands. Then you backstitch using one strand of 824 for the sweater and the boots. And then 70 is the eyebrows, just as original. One, I can't remember if it's one strand or two. Follow what the pattern says. Follow what the pattern says on 838 for the eyes. And then the swirls in and around the skirt, I used 820. The slash, or is that backslash? No, the slash. The original used water lilies, lemon, and lime. I used water lilies ticking, number 303. The paragraph symbol, the original used a water lily. I used Krennic number 4, 1432, wings and legs above the boots. So this section is, and this light blue section. On the original, the pink and the legs are the same, but on my conversion, I changed it because I didn't want the white legs. Okay, this half moon C symbol, this one is hard to read. So when you print off your pattern, you do want to go like photo or make your ink just a wee bit darker because this is a hard symbol to read. Whether you have the magazine or working copy, downloaded copy, it's hard to read. So don't be surprised on that one. The original is a Krennic. I changed just the tips of the wings to Krennic number 4, 100, and that's the white on the end. This is the C below. This is for the sweater and boots. Mill Hill beads. These are the originals, and these are what I used. Notice, this symbol in the bodice only, I used 42010. That's ice. When it's not the bodice, I used 40020. So the bodice is the 42010, the ice, the silvery kind of icy color. But down here, they use the same symbol here in this edge of the skirt. That is where I used the 40020. That's that navy blue color. And it's the same symbol, so you do want to be aware of that. And then I used the same size of bead and Magnifica bead here. Also, those are the ones that go around the edge of the wings. You use 2 strands of DMC to stitch and 2 strands of water lilies unless it's otherwise noted in the pattern. 1 strand of Krennic and 1 strand of Petite Treasure braid unless it's noted in the pattern otherwise. And that's number 4 Krennic. Back stitching. You backstitch face and hands using 632. I encourage you to follow this order because sometimes backstitching kind of layers on each other. So I would encourage you, that's just 1 strand. That's like from the original pattern. Backstitch the sweater and boots using 824 with 1 strand. And if you want a thicker cuff and neckline, you can go through the stitch twice. So you loop through twice. Backstitch legs above the boot using 820 with 1 strand. Eyebrows, okay, this must be the original pattern, 780 with 2 strands. Eyes, 838 with 2 strands. Wings, 820 with 2 strands. I think if I remember correctly, on the original, when I did the wings, I don't remember what color it's supposed to be. You did have to use 2 strands. I don't remember exactly which color it was. Backstitch swirls in and around skirt using 820 with 2 strands. Okay. So this is my main change. The sweater and boots not in the original. I used 1 strand of Whisper W88. And I forgot to mention on the boots. That's an important thing. When you wear snow boots, your feet look fat. It happens to everybody. So where the original was like 3 stitches across her leg, I added 1 stitch all the way around. So one stitch on this side, one stitch on this side, and if it curved, then I just followed what the original shape of the pattern was, but I just added that stitch to either side of her foot, and I added a stitch to the sole of her foot too. So the boot is like one stitch longer than on the original and essentially 2 stitches wider. And I did the same on this boot. Let me show you the original. So she's got a skinnier foot here. So I just literally just added another stitch all around for her boot. So that's an important thing to remember. Add. Oh, I didn't add these buttons. Oh, I'm sorry. I should take that out. I was going to put buttons on the boots, but I didn't do that. So I should cross that out. Yeah, don't stitch any of the beads that are in and around the legs. I'm referring to these pink ones here. I didn't add those. And like this one's hanging off, don't add those beads. Symbols used are approximate to the actual pattern. You have to see the actual pattern for the actual symbols. I tell you the pattern appeared in Just Cross Stitch magazine, April 2016. It was available as a free download at one point. I don't know if it still is. But this is totally Nora Corbett's pattern. It is not my pattern. I would suggest printing a working copy using a darker or more toner setting, because a couple of the symbols are very hard to read if they're too light. I stitched mine on 32 count Jobelin, Ice Princess by Under the Sea Fabrics, and this beautiful pattern is by Nora Corbett. So I hope that gives you information that you need. If there's any questions, please feel free to email me at mondotstitches@gmail.com. I will put that in the box below. I've been meaning to do this, and we just had illness in the house. We are victims of vandalism. Someone shot out a window on our vehicle. Yeah, it's just been a really, really crappy month, for lack of a better term. Especially since one of our toilets broke, so I guess there's a pun in there somewhere. But I do plan, I know how I'm going to fully finish these. I have materials for this one, and I have the materials to fully finish that one, and I hope to get them done the first part of 2018 and show them on one of my update videos. But today is December 13th, and I hope that you all are well with regard to illness, and I will do an update video sometime soon. I know, time gets away on me. But I hope that this helps you. I'm going to do a close-up. I'm going to go down this one slowly, and then I'm going to go down this one slowly. But then again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I thank you so much for watching and your lovely comments on my conversion. This is the first Nora conversion I've done. I'm working on planning out a couple more. I do have one started, but I'm going to show the original Nora Corbett stitched on 32 count Jobelin, Georgia Peach Fabrics by LJ. For a little fairy pixie, she's blingy. So she's kind of my warm weather, springy fairy. I love her bodice. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the blue one. And yes, I will straighten the beads out when I frame it, because some of them are laying really wonky. I had pressed it because I was going to finish it, and I got burned out on finishing it. But the easiest way to make your beads lay the way you want is just to put a needle back through them and just gently move the bead around. So her boots. I just love her crown. So there you go. Blessings to you all.